First I'd like to apologise for none of my videos being in on time, because I've just been at college and um, I've just been really kind of stressed out and shit, so I didn't want to make a video of me just going because it wouldn't have been good for anybody, and half of my videos didn't work, and I'm just been really tired, I haven't had any sleep. Anyway, this is about emotions and moods and all that stuff, like how you've dealt with it. Is there anything in there? Nope. Sorry, my computer's been a complete spasm me. Exit. Right. Anyway, emotions and moods. Let's begin with freaking secondary school. Because that's probably the best place to start. Now, right about this age, like probably 12, 13, everybody thinks that they're going through hell, when obviously they're not. Um, because it's life. I mean, pretty much you're hormonal at that age, so you think that if like your parents yell at you, like that's the end of the world and stuff. But I think at 13, 14, I was probably a little bit more emotional than I should have been, and this was just basically because I'm quite an emotional person anyway. I mean, I'd probably I'm not trying to sound look at me, I'm messed up, no, but like in my life, like I probably had a lot of stuff, and being 13 and being confused about what frigging gender you are doesn't help. Um, so through school, really, from about the age of like 12, really, I've been pretty just sad, pretty much sad, and pretty much isolated in my own little head, thinking I want to be something because this obviously isn't me. But the good thing was, in my mind, is that I was a late developer, in the sense where I didn't get breasts and I didn't start things until I was about 15. So from like it was amazing being flat chested up until the age of 14. Imagine that. Whoa, it was excellent. Um didn't have its advantages though. I mean, it just meant that like I looked like a guy to me. I felt like a guy, but yeah, it was great. But then about 13, 14, like I said, I started to develop things which weren't exactly amazing. I mean, um, when you're kind of getting into kind of that puberty stage, um, like a lot of people kind of you're already at a high emotional level because you suddenly see this other kind of world, like, whoa, my God, what's happening? Because I remember being, like I said, 13, 14, and one of my best friends, he grew absolutely tall. He was like 6 foot. He was like 3 foot. He wasn't like literally 3 foot, but he was tiny. And he just went boom, and he was like 6 foot. And his voice dropped, and he started getting a beard. Now just like, why can't I have that? I'm still dweeby, flat-chested, like man-child. And then when I was 15, overnight, just bloody happened. There was no in-between stage, because like you see like 9-year-olds now. I'm not saying I look at 9-year-olds breasts or anything, but you see 9-year-olds now walking around, you just like, how have you got them? But there was no kind of beginning stage, like I had no freaking training, bro. I was just straight away, boom, there I was, woman. And I didn't enjoy any of it, and I was really kind of angry and just really upset, like pretty much an emotional wreck, as far as I can see, up until about the age of 16, where I mellowed down a little bit, and I kind of came to terms with it all. Because I mean, I wouldn't say these are absolutely massive, but they're too big for me. So I mean, like I'm a 36B or something like that, which like I know there's people who got like double D's and shit like that, but like I mean, this is too big for me. I mean, I'd rather have nothing than have them. So really that's why I was just really emotional, really upset. Was just basically just because I had boobs, boobs and no penis, really, were just the major issues. Next up, I'll be listening and just thinking, what the fuck. Anyway, um, then it came to not secondary school, college. I did a 2-year acting course. In that 2-year acting course, I started to develop more in like masculinity, if that is a term. And I started to become more comfortable within myself, to the point where I thought I don't want to be a guy. What was I on about? But it was that, that little nagging thing at the back of your head where you just think, ooh. Um, and then I got really, no, like, I've never really been depressed, but, oh, I have a text message. Oh, oh, I'm in trouble. Oh, I'll reply to it in a minute. Oh, no, I better do it now. Um, but in halfway through my first, like halfway between first year and second year, I got really, really depressed because of stuff, and I kind of came to terms with the fact that like this wasn't me. I wasn't being entirely who I was. Um, so I got really kind of bogged down by everything, and my coursework went out the freaking window, and I started behaving badly. I basically just became like an arrogant little kid who wasn't getting their own way. Um, I'll edit this down. Um, but yeah, I became really kind of depressed and upset by everything because I realised that like it still wasn't me. Like I still realised what had happened, and my coursework grades went down. Like I said, I became acting like a little arrogant little kid who wasn't getting their own way. I felt like with a lot of my friends, and I became like pretty much isolated again and pretty much depressed. And it felt like secondary school over again. Um, and that's when I found out about this counselor person and like freaking this LGP L LBGT group. This is before LBGTQ came in. It's just before that. This was before like genderqueer came in. But um, and basically, and I found about that group, and I didn't really want to go because I thought I'm not gay, and I'm not straight, and I'm not trans, and I'm not bi because I thought I was pretty much I don't really have a sexuality until recently. Um, and I heard about that group. One of my friends went, and they came back talking about transgender issues. And then I went to go see this counsellor about stuff because my farm tutor basically kicked me out of the class one day and told me that I had to go see them to calm down. And then she basically just talked to me about stuff. And then she was questioning what I was wearing. She asked me if I'd heard of something called transgender. Of course I hadn't, because I was just like, what? um, and then she introduced me to it and told me what it was, but I still didn't believe it because I was like 16 at this point. And then after that, I just became even more depressed because I thought, oh my god, I'm fucked up. Pardon my French. But then I ignored it for ages, and now here I am doing my third year, doing media, and I'm freaking loving it because I told everybody about like me being trans and all that shit like last year, well, not last year, last week, and everyone's been really accepting. And I still feel a little bit paranoid about what people are saying because if I'm wearing particularly masculine clothes but things are unsure, then I can hear people like pointing and laughing at me, and I just become ultra paranoid. But like when I'm hanging out with all my friends who are mostly guys, they all treat me like one of the lads, and it's just really nice. I mean, I've settled down from being paranoid and hormonal and emotional to being kind of mellow. So yeah, that's my life story wrapped up in about 3 hours. So yeah, sexy people. Peace out.